Hey, what's up, guys? HT19 with a new style of video for you guys. We're using our PC finally to start recording some different type of content. I hope this helps us get to 1K subs for the channel by the end of the year. And yeah, today we have a reaction video, or I guess after watching these videos. They are two tier list videos, one by the Team On, Team on the Grind, the owner Jackson Madden. He did a tier list. There was one main thing I disagreed with, but overall, I think it was a pretty good tier list. And I just wanted to go over that main thing. And then also, we're going to go over Metaphos, Marcus Hayden's tier list as well. You'll see that the two tier lists are pretty similar. Right now, they're posted in the main section where the disagreements are. And my disagreement with the first one was that Jackson put Lightsworn a bit lower on the tier list than what I personally think it's on. Marcus puts it where I more agree with. And the other thing would be is I think Marcus placed Blackwings a bit too low. That might be personal bias, but Jackson kind of agrees with me in putting it as the best deck of the format. But yeah, I mean, let's listen to I guess the main thing, which was the Lightsworn deck placement. One of the things that I want to say is that I guess the main reason why I want to place it higher is because it literally just won an Ultimate Time Wizard. And if that's not results enough for you, then I'm not sure what is. But I know Jackson gave his reasoning, so let's listen to him really quick.
Next up, we have Lightsworn. I think this is a tier 3 deck. I'm going to be very not as lenient with some decks. I know a lot of people put a lot of decks in a lot of tiers, and I'm going to be very more strict on what I put in higher tiers. Because I see a lot of people who put a lot in tier 1 and a lot of tier 2. But anyway, back to the actual deck. The deck is very strong. I think it just won YCS Niagara. But like this deck is very inconsistent. If you don't mill, loses hard to Light and Prismy Mirror. You play a lot of boss monsters like Soul Imperial Light. You have Christia, you have JD, and like there's just so many hands to where like if you're not milling at all at the beginning, like you're just not doing anything. There's a lot of bricks in the deck, and even if you're not completely bricking, if you're not milling a lot, like you're just not pushing a lot of damage in, and you're not putting a lot of pressure on. And like this deck just can lose to itself more than it loses to your opponent sometimes. Don't get me wrong, the ceiling on this deck is astronomical because like if you go JD, blow up board, summon Christia, like that is just such a strong play. Like you have a thing that can blow up the board if ever needed, and a monster that just says your opponent can't special summon. Generally, you've also added back an Honest, so you can Honest over anything in case they have like Shura Kalut with like this deck, and you can still like keep your whole board. But like this deck, the consistency problems is the reason why I have it down this low. Is it again this deck like this deck? If it could just be 100% consistent, would definitely be like up here, if not up here. But with how the consistency is, I have it down here. Value.
Yeah, so this deck is Dragon Turbo, in case you guys were wondering. But I mean, I agree with a lot of what Jackson said. Also, if you guys were wondering if that was a bit sped up, yes, I like to listen to videos a bit faster. It just you get to consume more content that way. So I always listen at either 1.25 or 1.5 speed. But yeah, I mean, consistency could always be an issue. But by that logic, I actually feel that Lightsworn is a bit more consistent. Or actually a lot more consistent than Dragon Turbo. So by the consistent logic, I would actually put it up here. Ceiling, yes, Dragon Turbo has a slightly higher ceiling, but I mean, I think Lightsworn is pretty much just up there with both decks being able to OTK from full damage, and yeah, I mean, like I said, I just feel like it should have been closer to the top of this higher tier, which is where Marcus kind of puts it. And let's kind of listen to what Marcus has to say really quick about Lightsworn.
Next, we have Lightsworn, which just won. This deck just won Niagara. I honestly, when I play this deck, I think it's really good. The issue is, I also think it has, like, it's just more lucky, like a Lux Sack type of deck, a little bit more so, or a little bit less than like a Dragon Turbo, but a little bit more so than like the Fairy Chaos deck. It's definitely in this range. I think, once again, my bias is going to show. I'm going to drop it right here. think the deck's really stellar. Obviously, JD's busted, Christia's busted. You play Beckoning to get it all back and reset up. It's just a completely different game plan. It's full aggro, and you're just trying to like turbo everything to grave. I just think that there's a lot of side hate for this deck, one, and two, it feels very casino-y if you ever play it. There's so many hands where I'm like, all right, I've just got a normal monster in mill, even though like I'm completely leaving myself in the open for, you know, a Shura to attack me or something, but it's just kind of part of the game plan. And a lot of times you can even eat that Shura and it's fine, but it's just how I feel.
Yeah, so as you guys heard, oh, by the way, I'm going to link both videos in the description. So if you guys want to check out the full tier list of these, click on those videos. But I think Marcus does have a really good point about how there's a lot of side deck hate for these decks. I think that is both true and false. The main thing that is side deck hate against them, and we kind of have to look at the full tier list for that really quick. If we could just skip to the end so we could build that up. It is between Value Turbo and Blackwing's side deck, and that's because both those decks play Deck Devastation Virus as well as Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression is kind of a bit harder to deal with sometimes, but sometimes it isn't because you have like Lilas and Raikos to pop it. But one thing I do gotta say is Deck Devastation can be a problem. However, I know I just saw Fraser did a video with I think it was Hydro Pump, but they were talking about how basically you're trying to make the deck a bit more resilient against deck dev by cutting cards like Hamster, for example, and throwing more copies of Wolves. And usually I've been liking Hamster because it gives Blackwings a problem. But then they also pointed out how Wolf could equally be a problem for Blackwings and values. So in that case, I would say that Christopher is becoming a bit better to go against the meta, just because like they're being built differently. Also, like no one's really citing a Light Imprisoning Mirror, so it's kind of like dodges that part of the side deck hate. And yeah, I mean that's mainly the big thing that I would really agree with where Marcus has Chrysius Hornet in the tier list in the high second tier over here, versus where Jackson had it over here, and just zoom to the end to get the full list over here. Yeah, so if you see Chrysius Horns all the way down here in that third section, where I feel it should be closer over here. But yeah, I mean, overall, these tier lists are pretty similar. I mean, as you can see, this deck and this deck are both kind of the same spot. I mean, mostly like everything is just like within the tier of each other if you look at them. One thing that I would say is that I feel this Frog Hero should be up here as well. I think that deck is a little bit better than the Dream Frog variant. I think Marcus should have had Blackwings a bit higher as well. I think it's the best deck still in the format. That's just my personal bias. I know Marcus was saying he has a personal bias for this fairy deck in his video. This is the fairy pudding deck because he's been playing that deck a lot. But yeah, I mean, overall, this tier list just came out a couple days ago, so I am more in agreement with this one just because it's a bit more updated and has a lot more decks versus the one that Jackson put out. But I mean, Jackson also I think did a good job at putting a tier list. Also, he had to include his Blizzard Dragon deck over here, placing it down in that third tier. So I mean, yeah, aside from that, yeah, I mean, both pretty good tier list. Like I said, this I'm not sure why it's not up here, and like I said, this should be a bit higher. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. Again, don't forget to check both of these channels, Team OTG, Team On the Grind, subscribe, as well as Meta FOES. Subscribe to Marcus Meta FOES, and yeah, let me know what else you guys want to like talk about. If you guys ever see an interesting video out there, I'll make sure to take a look at it and probably just record some other type of content, where it be like deck building or that duels or dual reactions. I think all that would be really good. We really want to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. Hopefully, this schedule helps us get there. Don't forget, we got YCS Italy coming up, as well as YCS Anaheim. If anyone's at any of those, I want to meet people, so please feel free to say hi. And obviously, a lot of our old friends. I'm always down to hang out and chat at events, or I'm just super excited for what's coming up. So catch y'all at those events. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll catch y'all next time.